Greetings and good day. This is Coach Veronica Marie. And if you're new here, I just want to welcome you and invite you to subscribe and even like this video. Consider sharing it with a friend. I am a coach, among other things. And today I want to talk about the difference between empathy, projection, and intuition, right? And this topic is coming forward because I'm working on my second ebook. It's a guide for empaths called The Empowered Empath. Um, I already have my first ebook on my website. You can find it at veronicamarie.com. That one is entitled Self Intimacy, A Beginner's Guide to Self Discovery. And that's for anyone who really wants to get to know themselves at a depth so that they can be known by others and connect with others in a real way. Today, I was having a conversation with my oldest son, and hold on one second. Thank you.
Beware
I'm recording. Beware of what?
that in there there's a smell.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Sorry that my son, he walked up and he wanted to tell me, beware, there's a smell. Okay. Anyway, I was talking to my oldest son about a situation that he is facing. And he said to me, I'm going to paraphrase it because I'm not going to tell his business, but he said, I don't want to do that because that person, number one, may think it's weird. He said, and number two, if I was that person and I wanted that kind of help, I would want someone to help me. And the scenario is that he was offering assistance in a situation that wasn't uh, for his best interests, right? And so we were working on reasons why he should move away from that situation, and immediately he began to project. All right. And so he called the projection empathy and said that his intuition was the empathy. And I saw an opportunity to help him distinguish. And then I thought to myself, while the topic is fresh on my brain, I want to share it with my audience. So here I am. I want to remind you that I offer one-on-one coaching. And again, you can sign up at veronicamarie.com. So projection is when we think something, when we feel something, and we think that other people think and feel the same thing without any evidence of it, and then you act according to that that belief. Okay, so for example, if I feel shame, then I may think that you look down on me and also think I should be ashamed. As a result, I may avoid you. That's an example, right? Or in situations, people may have done things that I perceived as rude, and I wouldn't want someone to be rude to me. So if it came down to a situation where I may have to choose something that may be perceived as rude, I will remember how I felt when someone was rude to me, and I won't do the thing that I really need to do. I hope that makes sense. Projection is when you think something, you feel something, and you believe that another person or other people think and feel the same way, and it governs your actions, and you have little to no evidence that this is the case. Okay, so that's projection. Empathy, and let me go back to projection. Projection, in my son's case, required him to step into the person's shoes and try to understand the person's perspective, but with his brain. I'm going to say that again. So projection was causing him to step into this person's perspective, but not from their thoughts. He was stepping into their role, but putting his thoughts on it, how he would feel, how he would think. That is projection. Okay. Now, when we talk about empathy, empathy is the ability to see from another person's perspective, to do so with compassion. It, excuse me, it does not require you to put yourself in their shoes and feel their pain. When you begin to put yourself in someone else's shoes and feel their pain, it's not really their pain. It's your projection about what you think their pain should feel like. You take on things that they have said, things that you may have seen, you mix it with things you have heard, things you have experienced, and then you have a physical experience and you think it's their pain. It's not. It's your pain. It's from your interpretation of what they said, how they might feel. That's your projection. Okay. So a lot of people walk around thinking that they're feeling other people's pain, but a lot of times they're feeling their own pain. Okay. So projection will cause you to activate your own pain and think it's somebody else's. Okay. Empathy, however, is different. You can look from the person's perspective, but you really want to look from their perspective, not yours. Okay. So if I were empathizing with you, I would ask, what does that look like? How does that feel? How do you experience that? What thoughts do you think? I do not assume, even if I've had a similar experience, that I know how you are experiencing a thing. In other words, I don't project onto you, even if I have experienced something similarly, because we all process things differently. And even if we explain the same pain, we feel it in unique ways based upon our unique conditioning, experiences, and worldview and such. Okay. So empathy allows me to not be thinking from my perspective. That's projection. Empathy helps me to step into your shoes and hear your thoughts and hear about your feelings. But guess what? It does not involve me needing to feel pain unless I take the elements of your experience and I mix them with mine and my projections, then I'm going to feel pain. Oh, because I remember. Oh, yes, I get it. Because I remember when nobody showed up for me. Oh, I know how that feels. Oh, it hurts so bad. Yes. And you walk away like, oh my God, I just feel their pain. No, you feel your pain, your unresolved pain. So empathy and empathizing doesn't require you to feel other people's pain. But if you're busy feeling pain, then you stop tapping into what they're saying and you start tapping into your own story, your own mind, your own feelings. And before long, it's about you. You walk away feeling some kind of way. Projecting stops you from hearing another person. Projection stops you from getting clarity. Now, there are spaces when projection is necessary, but it's not here when we're talking about helping others, being an empath, and doing what is best for oneself. I hope I'm painting a clear picture. If I want to be in empathy or empathize with you, I need to look from your perspective. I need to hear from your mind, your heart, your experiences. And I need to suspend all of that me too energy, right? And resolve that later in my own personal time, maybe with my own friends or my own therapist. Okay. Because if you still have pain in that area, then you're going to be advising people from pain, your own unresolved pain at that. Then you're going to walk away feeling sad and your day is altered. And All of these things. And why? Because you have confused empathy with the way you project and experience your own projection. The last word, intuition. Your intuition is not projection. Okay. Your intuition may lead you to empathy, but it not always. Sometimes it may lead you to stay out of that. Sometimes your intuition will say to you, you're not the person to help them. Sometimes your intuitive nudge will be like, don't ask any more questions. When you find that your intuition only ever leads you into spaces where you absorb and feel other people's pain and you're busy helping people and oh, I have to ground and I have to do this and I have it tells me that you've been projecting and absorbing the experience of your own projection. This is something to understand for all empaths. It's something to understand for all persons who help others, healers, teachers, guides, and such. This is important for parents because parents do this too. They think their child is experiencing something based upon how they feel the experience is, and then they start projecting onto the child and acting according to it. And then the child will be like, "What are you doing?" Well, I knew that hurt you real bad, and it didn't really hurt. It hurt you more than it hurt them. When you start projecting and absorbing your own projections, things hurt you more than it hurts others. Okay. And you will walk away not knowing what to do with that pain. And that's a topic for another video, alchemizing your own pain. But a key, I like to give you something practical. A key is when you're talking to someone and you realize you're projecting and absorbing the experience of your projection, come out of it. Realize that this is your energy over here, and this is their, I should say, experience. This is your experience over here, and it's separate from their experience. Don't merge the two, okay? Yes, you may have had a similar experience, but that's separate. You're here to help this person. You're here to hear from them. Okay. So, some energetic, emotional, and mental boundaries are necessary for you to understand that everybody's stuff is not your stuff. And everything that you feel does not belong to other people. Now, I know somebody may sit here and go, I do feel in my body other things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you're talking to someone and they're sharing an experience or they have a need or something like that, and you begin to project and absorb, and you say you have to do that because you can't help it. You're an empath. Well, I agree with you. You can't help it because you don't know the difference, but it's not because you're an empath. The goal and the function of an empath is to perceive what is going on and alchemize it. How are you alchemizing? By absorbing. Then you need to go ground and do all kind of spiritual practices and burn sage and allow crystals to absorb. But guess what? As soon as another person comes with a similar story, you're going to re-experience the same thing. It's time for you to resolve that energy. So when you're helping someone and your own energy is coming up, avoid projecting. Ask them about their experience. Stop merging your Me Too energy with it, right? And then then you can hear your intuition clearly because you'll begin to create struggles within yourself when you confuse all these terms. You can't tell whether you should help, whether you should do this or that. You walk away feeling guilty or you try to overcompensate. You create a lot of turmoil when you confuse these terms. Okay. So make sure you understand that their story is not your story, even if it's similar. And then you wait until that conversation is over and you sit with yourself and ask, what was coming up for me? What do I notice I still struggle with? What issues are still needing to be attended to within me? Okay. These are all questions that you need to ask yourself once you finish helping a person and you feel some activation inside of you. All right. So again, my new book, I'm working on it and I plan for it to be out pretty soon. So stay tuned, but I do have one already. It's up on my website called Self-Intimacy, A Beginner's Guide to Self-Discovery. And this was just a real informal talk about a very powerful dynamic. You can reach me on my website at Veronica